Guy, 5 baseball games this weekend between your Yankees and my
Right.
Metsies. Are we going to make this? Are we going to make it through all this? By the way,
I mean, just your typical 5-day weekend
that's all. That's all.
series.
With a couple 7-inning games in the middle of that, as if we were in a beer softball league. By the way, speaking of beer and softball, what are you wearing?
I had a late afternoon Peloton ride with my man Dennis Morton.
Peloton's up big, by the way. And so what now does he? I don't know anything about this, and I'm guessing a lot of other normal people like me don't know anything about how this works. So Dennis Morton,
Dennis Morton is one of the instructors.
Right. So does Morty? Can I call him Morty? Does Morty get in your grill and be like, "Come on, guy, you pussy"?
No. So for example, I rode I rode a ride that had happened already. So it was a live ride, I think a couple days ago. So I just got the recording of it. There had been 14,000 people on that ride.
Have been on this ride. All right. Yeah. How'd you do? How'd you lined up?
I was 2,400 out of 14,000 and change. So that's like, top 15%. That's not bad.
Top 8th, bro.
But I had a great ride going. I'd say my first 15, 20 minutes, I felt good. And then I just hit the effing proverbial wall. So it wasn't my best rides, but I got my time in.
Do you think it might have had something to do with, is your spandex gripping a little tight today? I mean, do you think it might have, you should have, you're wearing spandex right now while we're talking. I told you never to.
I got a lime green Nike, whatever they call that. And I do have bike shorts on. I'll spare you. But
I told you never to do that around me. And but there's a lot of things.
But I hit the wall. And so the market this is a really lame segue, but the frickin' market ain't hitting any walls. It's just hitting all-time highs day after day. Remarkable. You know what's interesting to me today? I was looking in and out all day today. The VIX at one point today was, I think, north of 26.
Right.
And it closed lower on the day. So there are a lot of forces at work here. To me, there's this tug of war with the VIX. I mean, there's a lot of vested interest for this thing to go below 20, but you have to wonder how long can it be compressed in this environment. So to me, that's what stood out, despite the fact that the S&P is up another 23 handles today.
How can volatility not be lower when the people are digesting by Friday that we've had a couple days of your boy, not Boog, but Luke
Jerome.
Jerome. Who's Luke Powell? I'm trying to think.
There is no Luke Powell, unless you're thinking about that show.
I'm thinking about Luke Voit. Your boy Luke Voit right now is halfway home to a cycle against my Mets, and this is a guy who didn't make 27 other major league teams, and somehow he's been able to be successful on the Yankees. So good for you.
You know what I love about Luke Voit? Big burly dude.
Man. He's girthy
with like one hand.
Girthy.
And he wears he's got the shirt open down. So he's like the Engelbert Humperdinck of Major League Baseball. It's fantastic.
I'm not wearing my chain today, but I like chains, and I like Luke Voit, and he reminds me a bit of the Giambino, who I liked. You guys tried to run him out of town, and I realized he had a little bit of issue with the steroid thing. But
Giambino, it's funny. I should. Obviously, that one game against the Red Sox in the playoffs when he hit 2 dongs, if you recall. And yes, I said dongs.
Yeah.
I think off of Pedro, but that was a game that I think Posada hit that anyway. But I was never a big Giambino guy. He just didn't fit in. He wasn't a Yankee. Does that make sense to you? It wasn't a Yankee. Like Kevin Brown wasn't a Yankee. Would have been a great Met.
I think he wanted to be wanted. And what was the sense is he never really felt like he fit in. And I get the same sense from our Fed chairman. I think he wants to be wanted. And as much as, the Fed's not supposed to be a political machine and is supposed to be independent, our central bank is supposed to be the independent central bank in the world, the bank in the world. We're not the Turkish central bank when Erdogan decides, I need to take rates significantly lower because I just do. Yet somehow your guy Powell, I think, really needs some sense of he's also come in a little bit more he was more of an operator, so to speak, as opposed to an academic coming into the Fed. And I think with the Bernanke and even Yellen and certainly the predecessors, these were scholarly, erudite. And I'm not knocking on Jerome Powell's intellect and his education, but he didn't come in with the same resume as other central bankers as being a central banker. I think. And I do think this Fed has been trying to figure out its mojo ever since.
Which I actually thought was a good thing. I mean, he came in, was it summer or maybe early fall 2018, and I actually thought it was a good thing that this is a Wall Street guy. Maybe he'll look at it a little bit differently. I actually thought Gary Cohn should have gotten the job, but that's neither here nor there. And I thought that because I thought the Fed needed somebody to get us out of the largest prop trade in the history of mankind, and what better person to do it than somebody that did it for a living successfully a long time. And Jerome Powell, by the way, say what you want, I happen to think he was on the right path in October of 2018.
He was.
And then the market called his bluff, down 19.9% in basically 6 weeks, and everything's been backtracked. I mean, you go back to that period of time from October to December, and that's effectively set the course for where we are today. I'm not suggesting I saw that coming because I didn't, but if you go back and look at history, I mean, that set the tone for the next basically 2 years or so. It's pretty interesting.
Well, it's, you know, there's a lot of people that are out there that have been critical of the Fed for a long time, and we engage in these. And I engaged in one of these on Twitter last night with a guy who I respect in the market and who's got a great podcast and this and that. But ultimately, you know, the fact that the Fed has goosed the markets and the Fed put has been something that fundamentalists and theorists about what markets are supposed to do and where risk is supposed to be managed, and ultimately what zero interest rate policy or flooding the world with money does to middle America, if I may. It's the market we have, not the market we want to have. And so as a fund manager, as an investor, as a stock jockey, whether you're on Robinhood or whether you are Robinhood, if the Fed is standing in there and telling you this week, like the Fed did, not only are we going to continue to be as accommodative as we need to be, but we're willing to even let this market run a little bit hot, which means that risk assets, where they want to see inflation, congratulations, not only do you have it now, but you're going to have even more of it. I think as we go into this weekend, and, you know, Barron's hot on the press right now, writing what they write. It's always a very smart edition coming out of there. What people are going to be digesting is, what did the Fed tell us this week? And what did corporate America tell us this week about the big getting bigger? And where, if anything, I think these mega cap markets continue to go higher. So I just, I look at the S&P and it closed, somewhere, north of 35 and change. And you have a case where we are closing with the highest relative strength indicator. So that's a measure of momentum. We talk about it, and we talk about whether it's a limited measure because it's a very short-term snapshot. But measuring momentum for an entire index of the S&P, we haven't been this high at any time since that blow-off top of January 26th, 2018, where, within a couple of weeks, we announced a trade war with China, and the rest is history. Yeah. So I don't know. You have to be cautious with what's happened this week. And yet, as much as the purists and the evangelists about all the things that the Fed have done wrong, of which I have been one, I know you are one, I'm not going to tell you that this market is going to change gears tomorrow. And being long equities right now is the signal you're getting.
Yeah, it's clearly been the right way to be. And you're right. Would you rather be right, or would you rather make money? And they're the dogs. I mean, I think what happened here, the dogs are signaling that we got to go. I hate to do it. That's what they're saying, because they got the stopwatch.
Well, obviously, they're getting the full picture of you right now, and they're deeply troubled by lime green spandex. As I am about your boy Luke Voigt beating my Mets. Have a great weekend. May the best team win. And right now, it's not my team.
Talk to you later, brother.
Bye.